Angry Aussies lashing out at the RBA. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. Let's have a look at, angry, frankly, pissed off Aussies lashing out at the RBA on their Facebook page. For those of you playing at home, the cash rate has been increased to 1.85%. Now, there were some people who foolishly trusted the RBA when there's central scenario. They didn't anticipate having to increase rates until 2024. Trust them if you will, but there you go. They weren't right. They failed once again. And people are pissed off and they're letting the Reserve Bank know. So let's have a look at some of the comments left on this, because some people are going to get in a lot of trouble. So well done, RBA, trying to bankrupt hard-working Aussies. And there are going to be some Aussies that have borrowed money and they're right on the edge at these insanely low rates, even with the 3% buffer. So it's going to manifest. I don't think you'll be bankrupting a whole lot of Aussies. I think you'll be decimating the discretionary spending of a whole lot of Aussies. Philip Lowe seems to be out of his league at the moment. These are not normal economics. Yep, that's true. Perry said, what a mess. This was caused by the last federal government. The desperate attempt to save the economy from recession during the pandemic was ridiculous. Australia had the perfect chance to cool the housing market and curb the endless spending of borrowed money. But do Aussies want a free market in housing? Really, do they want it? I mean, look at Bill Shorten. He went to the last election, the previous one, before this one, with removing negative gearing. They didn't vote for it. Let's see what Labor does. I mean, they've got their shared equity scheme, which I think is horrific, but the numbers are capped. So it's all tokenistic. They all focus, both the big parties, to address housing affordability, just focus on making it easier for people to enter the market and not really addressing the supply side issues that we have, where you've got state and local councils just limiting land, making it more costly to develop, putting more burdens on people for housing. The NCC, the National Construction Code, they're going to make it more costly to build with recent changes. It's just going to keep getting worse. Paul DeWitt, nice one, RBA. It's about time you raised rates. Many more, please. And okay, so there's some people want rates to go up because, 0.1% is insane. That's my boy, keep them pumping. May finally get a yield on bonds. There you go. Pump it up, pump it up. If you borrowed within your means, you'll be perfectly fine. And the problem is, and let's bring up this little chart here. Oh, wait, we're not having a K-shaped recovery. This one here. It's the 5 and 2% government guaranteed loans. So they're people who are entering into crazy mortgages that didn't even have the capacity of enough discretionary money to save up a deposit because, it's too bloody hard to these days for a lot of people, but the government got them in. So what's going to happen if a disaster strikes, if they have an emergency issue, if their hot water system breaks, if their car breaks down and they have no emergency fund? We'll see that happening. Well done to the recession bringers. Jeff is going, just wondering if you have a spare room or two at your place, Mr. Lowe. I can't afford to live at my place anymore. Thanks. Too little, too late, unfortunately. US went for 75 and Canada went for 100. I mean, we are just a little cog in the cork going up and down in the ocean. It feels like they're playing catch up. It really does. Clintwood said, stop putting the interest rates up. There's absolutely zero need for it. Bankers cause more problem than they're worth. I think a lot of people can can agree with that. James, well done, guys. Recession plans and social credit system running like clockwork. Well, I mean, that's the risk of a central bank-based digital currency where you've got authoritarian governments potentially taking advantage of it. The RBA and other central banks only work at the margins, contrary to popular belief that they control everything. Yeah, they don't have that much influence that they think they have, to be honest. I think their press releases probably have more of an effect. Okay, let's have a look. You guys need to calm down, from Rob. Yeah, there are a lot of people that are scared and worried. Rob, you're lucky. You're rich enough to not worry and can afford a mortgage. I mean, this is the whole thing. Oh, you're lucky you can afford a mortgage. You're lucky you're rich. You're lucky you've worked hard and got education and weren't a slacker and, got a job. I mean, I'm telling the RBA to calm down and let us live. Okay, so a miscommunication there. You got to pump up those numbers. Those are rookie numbers in this racket. Jess is saying, well, this is the reason I learned to trade cryptocurrency. Oh, come on. This has to be a bloody bot. Does Facebook have bots? I know YouTube is covered with bots. That's why when you try and comment on my videos and add a link, I've had to turn links off because it's just bot spams everywhere. It's just I don't know why YouTube lets it happen. Well, I know why they do, because the crypto idiots pay for their scam website advertising, and YouTube makes money off it. Every week you do this, every month actually, you're out of touch. Rich people sitting on a board having no idea of what it's like to stress over money. I mean, but this is the problem. They cut the rates so much. They made it so low. It's completely artificial. Governor Lowe, I bet you're not sitting at your kitchen table tonight with your head in your hands trying to work out how to feed the family and keep a roof over your heads. No, they're probably not. He's on $1 million a year, so he definitely wouldn't be. He's probably more interested in all the tokenistic woke bullshit the RBA is doing. So why does your board continue to bash first home buyers with an out-of-date ideology? I'm sure first home buyers are not adding to inflation. They are just living hand to mouth. I believe the board should resign. Scott is going, head of the Reserve Bank needs to resign. How can you get things so wrong? No excuses. Average Aussies are now under real pressure. Well, let's have a look. I love showing this chart of their wage price index forecasts, how they've just stuffed it up in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 15, 16, 17, and going on. I need to update the chart. It's such a joke. And they're getting wage growth now, and they don't want it because they don't want it. Nothing really left that's affordable for the poor anymore. All these was going to bankrupt the it's going to bankrupt the hardworking people. Well, Mr. Lowe, I'd love your pay packet for a year. As long as you all lot in the Reserve Bank are happy, who gives a rat's about anyone else? There are people here that are really worried. Fourth conservative rise and inflation still going strong. You're wasting your time and hurting people for no results. Scott's going, thank God the RBA and our government will do everything they can to save us from inflation. Inflation occurs when the cost of goods and services increase due to demand, and some people willing to pay extra for something. Well, no, there's two sides to inflation. There's demand-driven inflation, and then there's supply-side inflation. A lot of the inflation that we're seeing here is due to supply-side. It's shipping costs going up to the moon. It's production capacity of goods tanking because, well, businesses didn't invest during the pandemic, and you've had lockdowns and lockdowns and lockdowns. It's not just demand-driven. Sure, demand is having an impact, and that's mainly being felt in housing, but and also you got to remember, everyone seems to forget. They're all complaining about lettuce being so expensive, fruits being so expensive. You've got all the fruit pickers disappeared. And then didn't we bring in, hourly wages, not pick rates anymore? Remember that? How there was all the push for that? Everyone's saying, they deserve that. Well, this is what you get, guys. You get $11 fucking lettuce. Come on. So, day by day, they're making our life harder. Phil the Grim Reaper Low in the RBA. You don't need a home, and your mental illness is not a problem. Board will be the leading cause of increased deaths in Australia. Oh, that's a bit dramatic. I mean, okay, times are going to be tough, and you're probably just... Well, we've had it so bloody good in Australia for so damn long, you're just going to have to man up a bit and tough it out. Okay? That's what a lot of us are going to have to do. Not one of these decisions will hurt anyone on the board one iota. If anyone thinks the RBA has the economic welfare of the country at heart, I got news for you. Well, yeah. Times have changed, and we need new solutions, not these harsh rate rises echoing the 1980s. I mean, this is a little pathetic. I mean, we're nowhere near the 1980s, guys. Okay, look at this. Look at where we are with our rate rises. The cash rate is at 1.85%. It's still very low, much significantly below trend, and people are freaking out. So what does that tell you? Well, they're getting scared, or some people are right at the edge. Shameful that those who purchased a basic overpriced home will be bearing the brunt. Thank you for causing an exponentially higher rate of mortgage defaults. Complete shame on you. Karma will visit you. We'll have to see if that actually manifests there. Nice for interest rates. That will both increase till 2024. Oh, that will not increase till 2024. You should lose your job. The Reserve Bank of Australia, you have absolutely zero idea about the struggles of most people on mortgages. Sure, other countries hike rates hugely, but they are like those jumping off the harbour bridge. You shouldn't be following suit. Greg is going, keep it going, Mr. Lowe. As one of many savers who doesn't have a mortgage anymore, please tell the banks who make millions in profits every year to pass on the increase to savers who have had money at very cheap rates since 2019. Not cool. Does somebody actually care for this? Shame on you. It's time for the RBA to be wiped clean. I mean, look at the calls for who else they're going to be put on the board. Unionists. They won't have a whole bloody mess of MMT bullshit that won't work. It'll get even worse. Maybe we need to look at the model of a hard currency. Why not give that a shot? Old school. Bring in more interest rate rises. Every month minimum interest rate rise of 2%. Interest rates during the 80s were 20%. All you people with mortgages have had things easy for the past 10 years. Yeah, but the cost of housing relative to wages was much easier. The RBA is screwing you one hike at a time. Wake up, people. Wake up, all you people with mortgages. Cop the interest rate rise and expect more. Yeah, Victoria's right. How did someone like this twat get to make these decisions that impact the whole country? So, hi peeps. I'll leave this lovely Instagram. I don't know what they're talking about here. And there's some spam. And you can see this just goes on. There are people. There are people who are angry and worried. So let's have a talk about this. There's a lot of Australians that are surprised by these rate rises. It's kind of worrying. It's going to be tough for some people. And, well, just have to prepare for the worst, guys. Sadly, that's all you can do. As always, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I discuss, there's a few ways you can help out. You can support us via YouTube or Patreon, use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call us if you need an architect. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And I'll see you all in the next episode of HeiseSays. This is kind of, it's just our generation's experience with rates going up quickly. There are going to be some lessons learned, some bloody hard lessons learned.